HP1 and my podcast Blockbusted are both sponsored by Audible. Go to audibletrial.com/blockbusted for a free audiobook of your choice today. This week on the show, we get into Batman the Animated Series, plus the news that Deathstroke will be appearing in the Batman movie. Also, we discuss the fact that neither of us can drive yet, and that sucks. Welcome to Blockbusted. So Hitchcock, I am finally learning to drive.
Oh!
I'm freaking 16.
That's scary.
And I never really... So I could have... Here in Georgia, you can get your learner's license at 15. I didn't get mine until I was 16 because, to be honest, I just didn't care about driving, you know? Not a ton of other people were doing it, you know? And I was like, whatever, you know? And also, like, there's a video of me when I was, like, 10 years old, the ever cautious person that I am, when I was like 10 years old saying, you know what? And my parents filmed this. You know what? I'm not going to get a car or drive until I'm 20 because I don't want to be in a wreck. Forget that. That's out the window.
Gosh.
But that said, I did wait a year and now I feel like an idiot for it. You know what happened? So I was going to small group like a week ago and my grandma was here for the day to just see us and whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, cool. Well, I mean, yeah. And so I was going to small group and we'd been out and about all day. And so everyone else pulled up to small group in their own car. Like almost everyone has their own car at this point. I don't know how. Like, I don't know. But almost everyone has their own car at this point. I pulled up in the back seat of my mom's minivan with my grandma in the front seat. Okay? That's how much of a dork I am. So for anyone who feels like a dork out there who's had similar situations, now you can say #relatable because now you're not alone.
If you're like Houston, it fixes all your problems, isn't it? No,
I
am the same way, though.
Yeah.
I just turned 16, and I'm getting my permit next week. So.
Well, see, I was terrified to drive at first, but I did some practicing over the past few months, and I just drove around the neighborhood, and it was surprisingly way more fun than I thought it would be. And also, I genuinely think that playing Mario Kart helped me be prepared for driving. Like, I'm not even kidding.
Fantastic.
Like, it was just a video game. It was just exactly like a video game. And so I drove on, like, the first, like, real road, like, 2 days ago. So I'm finally there. I'm doing it. Yeah. Also, though, some people told me to do public transportation.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know. I've just...
Like a bus? Like get on a bus?
Like a bus, yeah. That's kind of intimidating to me. I don't know.
Yeah. We got a bus stop right on the edge of our road.
But then again, like, if you're dedicated to seeing movies, maybe you should take a bus. Maybe that's... You know what? I had somebody tell me, I was like, you know, look, stop criticizing me for... So we had this discussion last week.
Yeah.
Where I've had a ton of people saying to me, you know, well, you can't have... Because you can... In our last episode, we talked about all the movies of 2016.
Well,
you know?
all, quote,
not
quote.
all. Exactly, not all. That's the point.
Oh,
we talked about all the movies that we had seen in summer of 2016.
Yeah.
And so after that, we had tons of people, mainly targeting me at this. I don't know why you're never the target, Hitchcock. But saying... Well, you don't have a right to judge the summer because you didn't see all the movies ever.
Basically, yeah.
You don't have a right. And I was like, look, okay, this podcast is called Blockbusted, okay? It's about blockbuster movies. It's not about all movies. It's about blockbuster movies. So that's the context. That's the subtext that you can think about this with. When I say all movies, I mean just the ones that we talk about.
Yeah.
And we saw pretty much all the blockbusters except for Independence Day because whatever. But so, yeah, I had tons of people saying to me, like, you know, I was like, look, 8 movies, or I saw, I think, 9 movies this summer. Yeah. And it's like, that's not bad. Like, that's
No.
an average of 1 a week, which is pretty good. Like, I asked someone at an event yesterday, I said, how many movies have you seen in a theater this year? They said 2, you know?
Yeah.
And that's the average
That's
moviegoer,
insane.
okay?
Yeah.
It's not like...
It's not like
no
we don't see movies.
We're seeing more movies than the average moviegoer does, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
And
yet,
so,
we still get a bunch of hate, or mainly you.
Yeah, mainly me. Whatever, though. Easy going.
You just got a big target on your back. I just kind of hide in the shadows.
I don't like this idea that it has to be a competition and that you have to take things so seriously. God, like, we all see the movies we want to see. I'm not going to spend money on 9 Lives just so that I can give it a rating.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
yep.
Whatever. Okay, so that's my little mini rant. I'm done now.
Yeah, good. Good stuff.
All right, Hitchcock.
Jump into news. What's up first?
That was the most ADHD beginning of an episode we've ever had. Speaking of... No, I don't have a segue here. Deadshot was revealed by Ben Affleck in a production video this week. And, you know, it was a video of the character. He's walking down a ramp. Some speculate...
He's walking down. He turns at a cool angle.
Exactly. He's walking down the hangar bay of the... What's it called? A
Firefox or something?
Flying Fox?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not...
Something
I don't
weird?
know. I don't know the character Deadshot or Deathstroke.
Deathstroke. Yeah.
Did I just say Deadshot earlier?
I think you might have said Deadshot.
I've written Deadshot in my notes here. Deathstroke.
Deathstroke.
There we go.
Gosh.
Deathstroke. Yes.
Which is a segue into your next point, which is
they look
you
exactly
clearly
the same.
cannot tell the difference between Deathstroke and Deadshot.
Yeah, but I won't go on that mini rant.
Good for you.
So
no, he looks pretty cool. I don't know.
Well, people are speculating, is he going to be in Justice League or is he the villain of the solo Batman film? What would you prefer?
Ooh, probably the villain of the solo Batman film.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Justice League is crowded enough already.
It is. It really is. I think Deathstroke would be a cool villain to have in a Batman solo film too. You know.
Yeah.
We haven't seen much of Deathstroke, so.
I don't think we've ever really seen a villain like Deathstroke in a Batman film, which is cool. Although that said, he doesn't really strike me as a Batman villain.
Really?
You know, like, I don't know, like
that's odd,
most of the Batman villains are like either crazy superpower campy, like Mr. Freeze or you know, Poison Ivy, or they're just insane, like the Joker and Two-Face and Harley Quinn and stuff.
Which it gives it a different twist, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. It could be an interesting angle.
It's really interesting. It'll be interesting to see. I mean, I really don't want him to show up in Justice League because it'll just be like.
Yeah.
I feel like if he does show up, it'll be you'll see him. The fans will be like, "Whoa, Deadshot!" and everyone will be like,
Deadshot.
"Why?"
Oh, you mean Deathstroke?
Oh, Deathstroke!
Whoa, Deathstroke!
Whoa, Deathstroke! But yeah. He'll just show up and everyone will be like, by the end of the movie, will be like, "Why was he there?" You know?
Yeah. You know what it might be? What if this is just the end credit scene? What if Ben Affleck is just intentionally leaked the end credit scene of Justice League?
That'd be great.
Yeah.
It totally feels like an end credit scene, though.
If this Batman movie is coming, the solo Ben Affleck Batman movie, which I assume it is, it's confirmed, right? Yeah, it's confirmed.
I think so.
That's probably my most anticipated DC film because
probably
like. Batman was the best part of Batman vs. Superman.
Yep.
And they have an opportunity here to learn from the mistakes they did make with that, though, where he was a freaking brutal mass murderer in it.
They're all robots. But,
yeah, I think it could definitely have a lot of potential.
Oh, yeah.
And
I totally
like
agree.
the idea that it could be called The Batman. That's really cool as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
That'll be cool.
Anything else? Is that it?
I think that's it.
Deathstroke looks pretty cool.
He looks cool. He's rocking.
That's all anyone has to say about the character.
He's rocking that orange and black mask, and yeah, he's on my wallpaper.
I don't know
right
about
now.
you, but it seems like DC is all just about things looking cool versus actually being good. I don't know. Maybe that's just my 2 cents on DC's films.
He definitely is there for the cool factor.
Speaking of things looking cool, not. See, now I'm doing like a twist segue. It's speaking of this not. Marvel may be developing a new Warriors TV series Unclear whether it's for Netflix or for actual TV. Actual TV, like the sophisticated.
Yeah.
But the new Warriors famously features Squirrel Girl.
There you go.
Which has been a very popular, like, high-demand character. People want to see a
Seriously,
Squirrel Girl
yeah.
movie.
She's everywhere
starring Anna Kendrick or Shannon Purser from Stranger Things, who plays Barb in that. But I don't think she can support her own movie, but she could be a hilarious character for a TV series, you know?
Yeah, definitely not her own movie.
No.
She'd be but yeah, she'd be totally funny to see in the TV series with a bunch of
But I mean,
other...
like, we've done Howard the Duck and Ant-Man at this point in this universe.
True.
I feel like anything's possible now.
Yeah.
You know? And I would love to see, like, a snarky, like, I know I'm an idiot, but this is hilarious Squirrel Girl. You know? That could be pretty good.
I'm just hoping if they do make her into a movie or even a TV show, there's that one scene where she's just running around the city, and there's a dog that just goes crazy barking at her. And she's just like, gosh, dogs. Squirrel. No,
you know,
I don't know about Squirrel Girl.
The arch nemesis of Squirrel Girl is just those bird feeders that, like, when a squirrel gets on them, they just spin really fast and spin the squirrel off. Have you ever seen those? Those are pretty good.
Those are great.
That'd be pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know about Squirrel Girl.
Now, speaking of TV series, Stranger Things. So today, and we're doing this on Wednesday, by the way. So
we are.
Today, Stranger Things Season 2 was officially announced to be coming in 2017.
Not just announced, though. We got a little
exactly
trailer.
Yes.
Okay? I mean,
so we got,
come on.
I mean, I wouldn't call it a trailer, but, you know.
I would.
Yeah.
I mean, what else do you call it? A sneak peek?
Sneak peek, question mark?
Maybe?
Like a teaser? I don't know.
A teaser of a teaser?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so essentially this teaser was the intro from the original Stranger Things, except instead of the letters coming together to say Stranger Things, they say Season 2, which, you know, whoa, mind blown. But the cool thing is that instead of having the cast names as the letters come together, we have episode titles.
Yes.
And the first one is Mad Max, which led me the whole time I was thinking, oh, so these are like movies that are inspiring Season 2 was what I thought it was because it said Mad Max.
Yeah.
But then I looked up all the other things and none of the other ones were movies, so that's just the other one. So it's speculated that they're just episode titles. Which I'm sure there will be some analysis on, you know?
Yeah, definitely. No, I think it's such a clever way to reveal that, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, so cool. It was so fun to wake up to that and just see that. Stranger Things is amazing.
Do you want to hear the episode titles here?
Oh, yeah. Let's hear them.
Let's see. Okay, Mad Max. I want to know what that episode's going to be.
Yeah.
The Boy Who Came Back to Life. The Pumpkin Patch. The Palace. The Storm. The Pollywog. The Secret Cabin. The Brain. The Lost Brother. Now, there are 9 of these instead of 8, which means it'll be one episode longer than last season. So that's pretty cool, right?
Yeah, that is.
That'll be pretty good.
All for more.
Yeah.
That's crazy, though, because you can't really get anything from those titles, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's like, okay, what's Mad Max going to be about?
Yeah.
Don't know.
And also, like, I want to see some of these characters that have, like, changed since Season 1, you know? In Terminator, we see Sarah Connor in the first one. She's just a waitress, you know, and whatever. By the second one, which takes place, you know, like 10 years later, I guess, once she's had a son and she's put into an asylum because no one believes her about the future, she's like jacked and like muscly, and she's like had dealings with weapons dealers and whatever to try to prepare for the future and blah blah blah, and she's totally changed. I want to see that with some of the characters in this.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That could be pretty good.
See Steven get jacked up and all.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I'm. Hopefully they do it right. You know, that's the one fear, because they did it so well in the first season that
Which we've talked about this. We don't want it to be midi-chlorians where they just over-explain everything. But yeah.
Hopefully it won't be.
And then the cast is appearing on Jimmy Fallon tonight, so that's gonna be fun.
Amazing.
It's gonna be real fun. That cast is so lovable. I can't even.
They are.
It's great.
So good.
Speaking of. Nope, I don't have it. Star Wars Rogue One today, and this is a tiny bit of news because who cares, announced or unveiled or revealed or whatever
Showed?
a black version of R2-D2 that's an Imperial astromech droid. And that's a thing, apparently. So now we have black R2-D2, guys. Because racial equality. So I don't know, that's something. People are losing their minds. I guess. Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
Whatever.
But you know what? In more pressing news, and I saved this for last for a reason, Gene Wilder this week passed away, who played... I guess it was Dr. Frankenstein in Young Frankenstein, and also Willy Wonka was his most well-known role.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch Willy Wonka as a kid?
I did.
I did too. It was great.
It was good.
Like, it's one of those movies that you don't quite understand as a kid.
Yeah.
Like, you get the surface level, but I've gone back and watched it recently. Really stellar movie. Like, especially Gene Wilder gives such a fantastic performance as Willy Wonka, where he's got so much, like, you just feel that he's got a history to him that you just don't know, you know.
So cool.
It's really good. Yeah, but...
That's a bummer.
Yeah, although, that said, like, people are going, oh, it's so terrible, oh, it's so terrible. And I'm going, he lived till 83.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
He had a really good life.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that sad, you know? I mean, obviously it's sad he passed away, but, you know, he had a really fulfilling life. It's not like he was killed at, like, 50 or something, you know?
Yeah.
So, very, very good actor. And I'm planning on going back and watching all the other films that he was in that I haven't seen, such as Young Frankenstein, you know? So that's that. Yeah.
Cool stuff.
All right, so what are we talking about this week, Hitchcock?
No. We're talking about Batman, the animated series, but not only that. We're going all out.
The DC animated
Justice
universe.
League.
Yes.
We're going Superman.
Yes.
We're going all of it.
We're going Batman Beyond. Yes.
Yes.
It's pretty good.
So you've been, like, infatuated with this over this past week.
Okay,
like,
so history
every day I'm getting a text. Hey, watch Batman Mask of the Phantasma. Hey, watch this. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, so last week I released a video called Phineas and Ferb, why it's the best cartoon ever. Or I don't even know what it was titled anymore. But it was basically a video where I was like, Phineas and Ferb is the best cartoon ever. It's so good. And Phineas and Ferb is great.
Yeah.
But that said, tons of people said, no, Phineas and Ferb isn't the best cartoon ever. Isn't the best. It's not. And, like, this entire... I guess I shouldn't have used such a hyperbolic or a hyperbole, you know, phrase where I said it was the best ever. But keep in mind, this was my opinion.
Yeah, sure.
But so I had a ton of and I mean, like, almost every comment was about how I was wrong and some other cartoon was better. But
that's great.
The main cartoon that people said was better than Phineas and Ferb was Batman the Animated Series as the best cartoon of all time, which I had heard a lot about, and I remember watching just a little bit as a kid, but it was mostly before my time. Justice League Unlimited was really more of my time. Like, that was I watched that when I was like 6 or whatever, which we'll get to. But so I decided to go back and watch it. Not to mention that Captain Christian, who's a great video essayist on YouTube, did a video on Batman the Animated Series. That's a great
video.
Great.
Go check that out.
So I was like, okay, so I've had 2 people recommend this to me. Or not, you know, I've had a video essay recommended to me, and then tons of subscribers recommend it to me. So I guess I'll check it out. So I watched like 3 episodes, and I was hooked. I was just watching all the ones that they said online were like the best of, and then I just decided to watch them all in order. And then I was like, okay, I'm just gonna order all the Batman Animated Series movies off of Amazon Prime because I can get stuff in like a day. So I got Mask of the Phantasm, the main Batman Animated Series movie. I got the Max Fleischer Superman cartoons, which are unrelated but really good. The Batman Superman movie, which is really just 3 episodes that they turned into a movie. And I've also ordered, they're coming tomorrow, the Batman Beyond Return of a Joker and Batman Under the Red Hood, which isn't set in the universe, but still sounds great. So yeah, I've been pretty obsessed. I've been watching a ton of it. It's great.
Yeah. And like always, you convinced me to watch it.
Yes, I am, in a way, the best hypnotist of all.
Yeah.
I don't know. So yeah, it's really good, right?
It is. Where should we start? Let's see.
Why don't you go through what episodes you've watched? I've talked too much.
Oh gosh. Which episodes? I forget. I watched the one with the Captain Cold. Which what Heart of Ice? Is that what that's called?
That was the one that was nominated for an Emmy at one point.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, that was a great one. One thing that I love about this whole animated thing, Batman the Animated Series, is it does the characters so well.
Yeah.
You know, I watched the Heart of Ice one with Captain Cold, and it does his backstory fantastically.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then there's two parts with Robin. What's it called? Robin Reckoning or something?
Robin's Reckoning, yeah.
Yeah, and it does his backstory fantastically, and it's just so cool. I mean, it's done so well, and Batman is so good in it.
Yeah.
It's just so good. I love it.
Well, and I've ragged on Batman a lot on this podcast, you know, because of the most recent interpretation of him is the best part of BVS. But that said, I don't think it's as good as like this at all.
Yeah, definitely.
And as a kid, I wasn't a huge fan of Batman, like I was for a time. But now, after watching this, I really feel like I understand the character of Batman and I like him, and I get why people like him.
Oh
now.
yeah, definitely.
Like,
definitely.
The Dark Knight's great.
Mm-hmm.
The Tim Burton Batman from 1989 is great, but they never really super clicked with me in terms of me actually liking them a lot. Like The Dark Knight's a fantastic movie, but I'm not a huge like fanboy of it. You know.
Yeah, I think that's one thing the animated series did so well is doing the Batman character. You know.
Yeah.
He's not just like in the cinematic representation of him. He's just like the Dark Knight running around saving people, right? And you don't really see like his full side. And in this, you see like, wow, he's a really good detective, you know?
Yeah.
He gets beat up a lot in these series, you know? Like it shows like, he's a human, you know?
And it captures his character so much better than any of the movies have. Like, as I said, I feel like The Dark Knight is a fantastic film series, but I don't really think it's that much of a Batman film series, you know, when it comes down to it. It's more of just crime in general. Sure. And while many other Batman interpretations were just that, you know, interpretations, like, you know, there was Keaton's Batman, and there was Nolan's Batman, and there was Affleck's Batman, you know. This, I feel like, is just Batman. You know, like it's not an interpretation at all. It's just Batman. You know,
it's the best representation of him
at his fullest and in his most, you know, what he is. And so that's what's great about it. It's totally accessible to anyone because it's just the character. It's not an interpretation of the character. You know, and that's great.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it. You said this earlier. It's or not earlier. You told this to me or tweeted about it or something. You said that it's great to see just Batman in Gotham City in his own element, you know?
Yeah.
Not fighting this world-ending just doomsday, you know?
Yeah.
He's just finding these criminal minds, you know?
Yeah.
Running around the streets of Gotham, everyone fears him.
Well, exactly. Like, none of the episodes, not many of them at all, are, like, epic in any way. I mean, they're, you know, they're fairly epic as it's a superhero show, but they're not, like, Doomsday's gonna crush the entire world. Yeah. It's just crime, you know? And he's just stopping them, and it's great that way, and that's what I love. You know?
Yeah, and the first episode I watched was in season 1, episode 1, just to give it a try, you know. And
On Leather Wings.
Yeah, with the man bat.
Yeah, that's a good episode.
But I was, you know, when you first turn on a TV show, you expect, okay, well, you're gonna see the development of the character and this and that, and he's going to become the Batman. And no, I mean, it just jumped, like, he's Batman, this is that, and there's, like, no origin story, you know? It's just he's Batman, which is like, okay, that's really cool, you know? Because we all do know the origin story of Batman. So why not just give it to us, you know?
Exactly.
It's done so well. And
the
they build off of just
are
that.
so, like, you could just watch them in any order at all.
Yeah,
really,
exactly. They don't really tie in together because it's just each weeknight of crime fighting, pretty much.
Yeah,
you know?
and some of them Robin's in it, some of them he's not, you know. And what's even funnier to me is that, like, I don't know, maybe they make this make sense in some way if you watch them in order, but the Joker just, he beats the Joker every time, but
Yeah.
the Joker's always there again. You know, and I just like that because it's like whatever. It's just an episode out of context.
Definitely,
definitely, and that's good.
It's great.
So it's not particularly episodic.
Yeah.
It's mostly just...
I went. I think same thing with you. I watched the first episode, then I googled top 10 Batman the Animated Series episodes, and I just watched like different chunks of it, and I'm like, it made perfectly sense. I watched it with my younger brother. He loved it.
Yeah.
And it's just so good. And that's another thing. It's juvenile enough that young kids can enjoy it, but it's smart enough that young adults and adults can understand it. And
for real, some of this stuff is pretty mature for kids.
Yeah,
especially
definitely.
in Mask of Phantasm, which is great. It gets to some pretty mature themes for a kids show, and that's great. You look at these shows back then, and they were such. You could make them live action shows, and it wouldn't change anything.
Yeah.
But if you look at the cartoons now, like Teen Titans Go, you couldn't make that a live action show because it's just dumb, cartoony, whatever.
Exactly.
Looney Tunes, Yeah. And we've really lost that kind of era of simply mature cartoons,
Yeah.
So it's great that way. It's got such a crime noir feel to it as well.
It does. It's fantastic.
Which is awesome. Yeah.
You get hooked immediately. It's so good.
Let's see. So I guess I'll give some of the history of the DC animated universe. We've just been talking about the animated series here, the Batman the animated series, but there's plenty of other stuff to talk about.
Not only is there the animated series, there's the animated universe.
Exactly.
Dun, dun, dun.
You've become part of a bigger universe. You just don't know it yet.
This is great.
And so the animated series was launched in 1992. It was hugely successful because it was so accessible to anyone, and it was just good. And that it went on for several seasons. Before then, out of that, they spun off Superman, the animated series, seeing the success of that. And then they kind of rebranded it as the New Batman Adventures. But it was just the same show. But now it was the New Batman Adventures and the New Superman Adventures. And so those would then cross over every now and then. Not too much, but just a little bit. And that was what that movie I told you about, the Batman Superman movie was. It was a 3-episode crossover with them. And the Superman animated series went for several seasons as well. I've watched it. It's fine. It's better than Man of Steel in terms of capturing Superman, but at the same time, it's not particularly bold or anything. It's not It's not as bold as Batman the Animated Series. It's not as memorable or mature at all. But it's fair, and it does feature some cool stuff, like they introduced Darkseid towards the end of that.
Okay.
But so once the two of those crossed over, that kind of provided the roots for the Justice League to form. But it didn't for a little while because people were kind of losing interest in the Batman animated series, same villains, whatever.
Sure.
And so what they did was they launched Batman Beyond as a new spin on the character. So do you know what Batman Beyond is?
Vaguely, not really. No,
I remember it's when it
isn't
launched.
It set
a little
in the
bit,
future
I think.
Of the Batman universe. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So,
I haven't seen any of it. I really want to though, because it looks great.
It's the only one that's not on Netflix or Amazon Prime, which is where I've been watching the other stuff. But so essentially, people were getting tired of Bruce Wayne because and so what they did was they launched a universe in which is the future of the Batman universe, and a new Batman has been. This dude named Terry McGinnis comes and discovers the Batsuit and eventually becomes a new Batman, a young Batman in this future world. And he's aided by Bruce Wayne, who's now old, as like a mentor, which was a super cool concept to begin with. And it wasn't anything based in the comic books. It was very, they invented it for the show.
Yeah.
Which, side note, is another thing that's awesome about this is the show came up with so many things that are now in the comics, such as Harley Quinn, who was invented in the Batman animated series and had never been in a comic book before.
I mean, I never would have guessed that, without seeing this, I'm like, I just thought Harley Quinn was part of the comics, you know? She's always with Joker, you know? They were created by the comic book creators. And no, I mean, it's just another thing that this series does so well is creating characters, you know? Which is just fantastic. And so, I mean, because now Harley Quinn, she's in all the comics, she's in Suicide Squad.
Yeah, everyone loves Harley Quinn now.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
But so, in Batman Beyond, which went for a long time and was apparently very successful, which it's the only one I haven't really seen anything of. Basically, he teams up several times with like a future version of the Justice League, and it doesn't have many of the same roster, but it's just titled the Justice League, and it's a new version of it. I think it might have had an old Superman on it. I'm not sure.
Okay.
But so that led to the Justice League show arriving in 2001. And that obviously kind of jumped back to the present day and not the future. And that went for 3-4 seasons maybe until it became Justice League Unlimited, which then went for 2 more seasons. And Unlimited kind of focused on more heroes than just the core Justice League. And the whole universe, like Green Arrow and the Atom and Gorilla Grodd and all kinds of stuff that they introduced through that. But this is one of those universes where, like, it's been going for so long that, like, so many things have happened, and it's really hard to keep track of, you know, to catch up on. But I've been trying to do that, you know. So yeah, I'm gonna stop talking now.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, so you watched some of the Justice League show?
I did. You know, I watched just the first 3 episodes, part 1, 2, and 3 of it, and you know, it was my initial thoughts on it were, you know, it's great. You know, it's really got some really good elements. The characters, of course, are great. Yeah. But you know, I didn't like it near as much as I did Batman the Animated Series.
Yeah. It's just a lot more campy, you know.
Yeah, and I think
not as bold.
One of the main reasons is it's just like it's world ending like right away, you know, and it's just like, I mean, they formed the Justice League fairly well, but like one of the bummer things is, which this kind of relates to what we said earlier, it was Batman was kind of out of his element, I felt, in this, you know.
Which to some degree it's interesting to see when he's put into a situation that he's not usually in, but at the same time, aliens are not Batman's element.
Sure.
Crime
definitely.
is, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Which it got kind of old, I feel like, but I mean it was still great. I mean the animation's great. I love the animation and the characters are great and it had a great story. Yeah. But it was just it's different than the animated series, you know. Yeah. From Batman the Animated Series, it's not. Yeah, it's just very different. It's more world ending, you know, more superheroes. Yeah,
and see, that's the thing is like it's one of these things where every episode is that way, and it's like this is kind of losing its weight. Yeah, it's kind of like, I mean, Justice League. You can't have the Justice League fight everyday criminals, you know. Yeah. You got to wait till a big villain comes to destroy the Earth, you know. Yeah. Which just kind of gets repetitive, you know. Yeah. And it almost gets boring, but you know, overall it's great. I mean, that said, I mean, there are a ton of things I want to catch up on it. Apparently, they had a lot of time travel stuff happen, or maybe not a lot, but some, and some crossovers with Batman Beyond. The epilogue to Justice League Unlimited, which I think you're going to watch soon or something.
Yeah, I got to watch that.
Is really good because it's just basically an explanation of Batman Beyond with Amanda Waller in it, and it's really good. Cool. But you referenced the animation, and Justice League, I feel like, it's not anywhere near as good as Batman was. Yeah. They kind of tone it down. Basically, Justice League is fun, but it's not bold in any way. It's not exceptional in any way, you know. But that said, you know, you're a kid, you're seeing the Justice League form for the first time on screen ever, you know, and that's amazing. But, like, as far as the artwork and animation in Batman, the animated series goes, like, one thing that was really cool was when you're usually doing animation, you know, you take white paper and you paint the backdrops on it and stuff, and you add in everything, and when there's darkness, you paint that in. But what they did for the Batman animated series was they took black paper and they painted light in, and essentially that made it so that everything that wasn't painted was you know, completely dark. So that the whole city was kind of engulfed in this shadowy feel, and that was so cool, you know. anything that wasn't
Definitely.
illuminated by a light.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
Really cool.
Yeah, you can definitely notice that because it does. Gotham in general is just a dark criminal place. At night especially, and all you see of Gotham is when Batman's out running the streets at night, and you definitely can notice that dark tone, and it's done so well. And the animation, it's simple but it's intriguing. Like when you see for now in this century we're so used to the high quality 3D animation, that kind of stuff. And when you look back on this stuff, you kind of brush it aside, that's not good animation, it's that. But when you give this a shot, it's it works so well, and the animation is perfect.
Well, and another thing is, oftentimes shows at that era, in the 90s, and some Disney movies did this, where it was mostly 2D animation, but they would kind of integrate some CG in with it, and it just didn't quite mesh. You know what I mean? They did that in some stuff like Treasure Planet did that. And this, they didn't. They had the technology for that, but they didn't because they knew its limitations, and they knew what the world was, and that was great. And like I say, they just work so well as serials, one episode, one punch,
which I think is great, because it doesn't take dedication to stick with the show,
Yeah, exactly.
You can just I want to watch Batman anime, let's just go pick an episode, let's watch it.
And the character movements are so good, he just moves, the way that Batman moves, and as he's fighting and stuff is so cool, so smooth. And as I said, this is kind of my first kind of time I've really liked Batman. I now kind of am seeing the swagger, or maybe not swagger, but just kind of cool stealthiness that he has. I love when he'll go into a dark room and his cape falls over his shoulders, right? And he's just standing up straight, and all you can see are his eyes. That's amazing.
Just his silhouette, it just looks so cool, and it's so menacing, and oh, dude, that's Batman right there.
Yeah,
which is great. Absolutely love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so Mask of the Phantasm was a film that came out in the middle of the animated series stuff, and it actually got a theatrical release. And also, Roger Ebert, or Siskel and Ebert, film critics, basically about a year after it came out, decided to go back and review it because they liked it so much, and they wanted to make sure that people went and saw it, because now it was on DVD, or I guess on VHS or whatever. But yeah, it's really good.
Is it?
I'm tempted to say I think it's the best Batman movie out there. As I said, Dark Knight, cinematic masterpiece.
Sure.
Way better. But as a Batman movie, I think Mask of the Phantasm is the best one. Wow. And it's got a couple inconsistencies, but mainly it explores the psyche of Bruce Wayne in a way that nothing ever has. And the idea of his mindset is that his parents are gone, he'll never be happy again, and so he's doomed to this fate of Batman. But what happens if Bruce Wayne is happy? Does he have to stop being Batman?
That's great.
And it's just great. It's really good. One thing we need to talk about is the voice actors, for heaven's sake. So good,
so amazing. Yeah, it works perfectly so well. With all their characters, Mark Hamill, of course, as the Joker is great.
And
just all of them. Who's the dude that plays Batman?
Kevin Conroy.
Kevin Conroy, yeah.
Which he's played Batman in almost every animated Batman movie, even not just the animated series stuff. He played him in the Killing Joke movie, which came out a couple of months ago.
I want to see that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And he does a great job of seamlessly transitioning between Bruce Wayne and Batman.
Yeah.
And their voices aren't too different. It's not hey, I'm Bruce Wayne and hey, I'm Batman. It is in The Dark Knight. But it's just
you
hey, I'm Bruce Wayne and hey, I'm Batman. Very subtle but effective.
Yeah. So well.
Amazing.
So good.
Really good.
And another thing I want to mention about these animated series, in the Justice League and the Batman and Superman as well, is they're all in 22-minute episodes.
Yeah.
It's not an hour. It's not 30 minutes. I mean, it's really short.
You can knock them out really.
Time.
But yet they don't feel short. Also,
they don't. Exactly.
I find myself looking and going, "Wow, I bet this is gonna end soon." And it's only been like 12 minutes, and that's they condense these stories in so well.
And the fact that they're able to pack all the story in too. You know, like that one Captain Cold episode. They packed all his backstory in so well. And, I mean, just a short amount of time, just so condensed, and like they don't overdo it. You know, it's like here's this, here's that, you get boom. Mm-hmm. You know, it's just so good. And I love that they're that short. You can just sit down and watch them whenever. Yeah. You know, and be entertained so they're great. Yeah. Absolutely great. That's another thing I loved about them.
So I'm going to continue watching these episodes for a while and trying to catch up and stuff because there's so much lore. And it is quite an achievement that they were able to expand this universe as much as they did and make it so wide and comic booky, you know, by the end of it. And it's sad that it's over now, you know.
Yeah, it definitely is.
But definitely. I just hope that someday we'll get a cartoon about as good as that, you know.
Yeah.
I hope.
That'd be great.
So yeah, that's the animated universe. Anything else to say about it?
I don't think so. No.
I don't think so either. Yeah.
I think it covered everything I wanted to say.
Yeah.
We need more cartoons like this.
Exactly. Out of 22, I rate it 21 because nothing's perfect, but it's great. It's really good. So, pick of the week, Hitchcock. We're doing pick of the week. Pick of the week. Pick of the week. What movies did you see this week?
Did not have one last week. I have one this week.
You definitely have one this week. Yeah, I do too. Should you go first? You go first.
I think I'll go first. You went first last time.
Boom, baby.
Even though I didn't have one. Yeah. I saw, for the first time ever, Good Will Hunting.
Boom, baby!
And, wow. It's so good. So good. I mean, it's just amazing. Everything about it. It's just such a masterpiece. You know, definitely top 10 worthy. And, like, I was watching it. I mean, the music is great. It has some great cinematography shots. The story is phenomenal, and the acting is great. Matt Damon, Robin Williams. Yeah. I mean, it's just so good. Everything about it. I mean, wow. It was just so good.
Every scene in Good Will Hunting is so just gripping. Yeah. You know, you could pull.
Exactly.
It's just like, you know, you turn to any page in a Harry Potter book, and you're instantly, like, gripped, you know. You skip to any scene in Good Will Hunting, and you're gripped, you know, because every scene's so compelling and well-written.
It is. It's phenomenal. Absolutely love it.
Yeah.
I mean, wow. It's probably got one of the most language I've ever seen in a movie too.
Yeah.
Which was, it was still. I mean, it was just great. I absolutely loved it. I considered it putting it on my top 10. You know, it's just that good. I love everything about it. I may just want to go see it 10 more times. You know.
And can you believe that it was written by two teenagers? You know, Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. It was written by them when they were that age. It's incredible.
They're both great characters. Yeah. You know, they have some great tie-ins, some great moments. Their relationship is great. You know, and I mean, I didn't expect it, but I got teary-eyed at the end of it. You know, it was like, dang, dude,
it's really good.
I mean, it got real heavy at the end. It was just so good.
Hitchcock has emotions. I
do. Oh, no. So good.
So this week I saw Kubo and the Two Strings, which many people had told me I needed to see. Chance, our friend Chance, who's guested on here several times, said I needed to see it. A few other people, ETR Films, said I should see it. Several other people. And it's got fantastic reviews. So I saw it. It's pretty good. Okay. Here's the thing.
Here comes the
when
rant.
I say here's the thing, that just brace for impact. It was really good. The animation was beautiful. The world building was phenomenal and very inventive. And just had an intriguing mythos to it, you know, to this universe that blossoms out of this animation. But so that said, take everything that I'm about to say with a grain of salt, because I liked the film, but I do have some stuff that I find wrong with it a lot. The main thing I'd say is that there's a lot of stuff that you expect payoffs for.
Yeah.
Or you expect to develop more, but it doesn't. Or maybe it does, but it's not quite satisfying enough. And that could just be me. That's possibly just subjective. I'm sure it's subjective, But, I feel like there were a lot of things that I was expecting way more for a payoff for it, and then it was just kind of disappointing in terms of what actually happened, Halfway through the movie, I was like, this is pretty good. I can't wait to see how it ends, And turned out it was at its peak when I thought of that,
Huh.
But that said, it's definitely worth seeing. Definitely see it, support it, because it's an original film, stop motion film. Give it money.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, I saw that one little clip of the animation of them doing it. It was like a time lapse of stop animation, and wow, it's just. I mean, that they were able to do that. I want to go see it just for the animation reason,
Yeah.
It just looks so phenomenal.
It's definitely worth seeing in a theater
so
because
beautiful.
of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll see it. Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it. I give it a 7.8 out of 10. Or wait, no, we're doing our 22.
Oh, yeah,
system.
what are you doing?
What is that in 22 logic? I don't know. It's
17, 16? I don't know.
No. I'm just going to give it a 14 out of 22 or a 14.5 out of 22. Whatever that means, someone let me know on Twitter. Be sure to let me know. Yeah.
Cool
So that's what we saw this week. Yeah?
I almost saw Ben-Hur this week.
Oh, yeah. You almost did. That's pretty... Ugh. I can't... Like, that movie, it's been out for a week, and it's already grossing lower than movies that have been out for, like, months. Like, it's doing that poorly in the box office. I can't even...
The really weird thing is my grandma wanted to take me to see Ben-Hur.
Yeah.
And I was like, Ben-Hur? Why do you want to see Ben-Hur? Like...
Because it's a Bible thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
just
still,
watch the original, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Ben-Hur. Hey, we never did the Audible thing.
Oh, yeah. Audible. Houston Productions 1 is
subscribe
sponsored
to
by
Audible.
Go to audibletrial.com/blockbusted for a free audiobook of your choice today. Smiley face.
I love how that's just ingrained in your brain. That you're able to just recite it.
I could say it in my sleep. You could shake me in my sleep, and I would probably just go off. Like, Houston Productions was sponsored by Audible. Go to audibletrial.com/blockbusted to get a free audiobook of your choice today.
Oh, God.
Thanks for watching.
There you go.
All right, where can people find us on social media, Hitchcock? This is like every episode is us just like we could retitle this whole podcast because every episode is just us slowly devolving into insane like psychopaths, just chaos.
Yeah.
All right, where can people find us on social media?
I'm at the nerd_stream7.
And I'm at Blockbusted
Instagram
Pod.
and Twitter.
Yes, on Twitter I'm at Blockbusted Pod. We need to nail this sometime, but we're never gonna. Let's try it again. I'm at Blockbusted Pod on Twitter.
Oh, this isn't working. Nerd_stream7.
Okay, fine.
On Twitter.
If you'd like to contact the show, you can go to blockbustedpodcast@yahoo.com. And you can email us, and then also just tweet at us is good too.
Yeah.
And that's that. That's about it, I guess.
I think
Blockbusted
so.
Is sponsored by Audible. Go to
No.
audibletrial.com/blockbusted for a free audiobook of your choice today.
Oh, no.
Whew. All right.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening, guys. What are we going to do next week, Hitchcock?
Who knows?
You know what I'm doing this weekend?
You're going to Dragon Con.
I'm going to Dragon Con. That's why we're doing this episode early. I had a thought. Spider-Man Homecoming is filming in Atlanta here.
Yeah.
Dragon Con is happening in Atlanta here. It's a pretty big event. Tom Holland is here.
Oh.
It like, what if he just showed up at Dragon Con?
Yeah.
Like, it seems like something that he would do. Tom Holland being the spontaneous teenager that he is.
Even better, just show up in the Spidey suit.
That would be so cool.
That would be amazing.
One of my friend's dads got cast as an extra in Spidey Homecoming, so that's pretty cool.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's
cool. Yeah. All right. I'll be at Dragon Con. I'll probably vlog about it or something on YouTube.
Yeah,
That'll be
you
pretty
should
good.
do that.
thanks for listening, guys. We'll see you in
Yeah.
the next episode.
Boy.
And be sure to go to Blockbusted Podcast.
No!
Trial.com/Blockbusted for a free audiobook of your choice today.